you don't already have your calculator, get it out. If you don't have it with you, please look on with somebody else. Okay, because this is something you guys need to be able to do with your calculators. Alright? So we have this function, f of x is 2x to the fourth minus 6x squared plus 1. Okay. This wouldn't factor, so we can't find our zeros by factoring. So let's take a look at how we would do this. First of all, if we hit the y equals, we're going to graph this function 2x to the fourth minus 6x squared plus 1, and we'll just hit graph. Alright, and this one actually looks a lot like we would expect a quartic function to look like. Now, one thing that might be helpful as we're finding our zeros is to use our zoom, but there's a nice zoom feature here actually, and we're on our calculators right now, not our laptops, so if we hit zoom, this zoom box is actually really helpful, okay? So zoom box, I'm going to hit enter on that, and then what it has me do is I can move the cursor around, and I'm going to go up kind of to the top left to make sure I include everything. I'll hit enter, and now if I move the cursor over and down, it creates this box. Alright? And now if I hit enter, it'll actually change my window to include everything in that box. Okay? Now, is that absolutely necessary? No, but it might make things a little easier for us. Okay? Everyone with me? Do you have a calculator? So what did I say to do? Yeah, look on with somebody else. Okay. On the Nspire, you have to hit like menu, and I think it's Windows settings, and you can go to Zoom. Yeah, right. You have to punch the function in here. Menu. You exit forward. Alright, so now how do we find our zeros? How do we find max or min points? Well, if we look in second calculate, alright, if we just hit this trace button, we can approximate. Like if I trace over here, I can see, you know, my zero is going to be really close to like negative 4.5, or sorry, negative 0.45. But I want to get it exactly. Alright, so I'm going to try to find this zero here, and I'm going to hit second calculate. Alright, second calculate is above trace. And you'll notice here we have a number of options. We want to find the zero in this case. Alright, so I'll hit number 2 for 0. And now we've done this before, left bound, right bound, and guess. So I use my left and right arrows to move over to the left of where that 0 is, and I hit enter. Now it's asking for a right bound, so I use my right arrow, and I move over until I'm clearly to the right of that 0, and I hit enter again. And now it's asking for a guess, so I can just use my arrow to get as close as I can to that 0, and I hit enter again, and you can see here that my 0 is actually at a negative 0.42, a negative 0.42.
Wait, Mr. Nixon, if you have an Nspire, can you just do the trace and it just tells you the 0 and 0?
Okay, so the Nspire will automatically like kind of snap to a 0.
Well, like you just trace it and then it will stop at a 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay?
Wait, after you went to the, like, you did left bound enter, right bound enter, and then what did you do?
Then it said guess. So you just scroll to like as close as you can get to it
Okay.
and hit enter again. Honestly, it doesn't matter as long as you're in the range you just gave them, it'll find it. It's a matter of like milliseconds difference. Okay? Yes, you got it. Second calculate 0. Okay, and then left bound means you go, there it is, you wanna go to the left a little bit, and then hit enter. Right bound, you go to the right a bit, and enter, and then it says guess, that just means get close to it. Okay, that's good, that's good. Okay, alright, is there anyone who wasn't able to get that? Okay, window range, let's just go to Zoom. Anytime you get that, just go to Zoom, hit 6 for Zoom standard. It'll reset your whole window, all your window settings. There was something in your window settings that was messed up, so just go to Zoom standard, and that'll set your Zoom settings, your window settings back to normal. Alright, so that's how we can find a 0. The minimum and maximum, you remember seeing those when we hit second calculate? The minimum and the maximum work the same way. So let's find a minimum, okay? We're going to find this minimum over here on the left. So I'm going to scroll all the way over here. It's kind of covered up a little bit. But just make sure that you're clearly to the left of where that minimum value is. So I'll go all the way over there. And I hit enter. And now it's asking for a right bound. So I just want to make sure I'm definitely on the right hand side of where that is. So I hit enter there. And now a guess. So I'll get close to it. And I'll hit enter there. And now we can see our minimum value is a negative 1.22, negative 3.5. Okay? So our min point is that point. The minimum value of the function, we would say, is negative 3.5. And it occurs at x equals negative 1.22. All right? Any questions about how we did that?
Can I go to that one?
All right, good, good. So that's how we would find a 0, a minimum, and then of course we could find the maximum doing the same thing. It's going to ask for a left bound, right bound, and a guess.